Hey folks, Dex here, and today I wanted to take part in a little bit of good old-fashioned speculation. What speculation, you ask? Well, what are our first release of models for each faction going to entail? I actually brought this up on a Discord recently, and I hadn't seen anybody else talking about it, so I thought I'd make a short video. This image, featuring an infantry unit from all 5 of the factions, made the rounds on Warlord Games' social media the other week. Now, what I find interesting about this is that if you look at the Axis and the Allied units, we have the Stormtrooper and the Fireflies, which are the 2 kits that are included in the Konflikt 47 starter set. So, to recap, let's go over what's being released in the very first wave of Konflikt 47. All the units that I'm going to mention here are units that are either in the 2-player starter box or the starter armies. For the Allies, we have the Linebacker and the Firefly Infantry that are both going to be plastic, as well as Firefly Commander models that will be in Warlord resin. We will also have a new Stuart that will have a resin turret as well as the plastic traditional Stuart body. For the Axis forces, we will have both the Vogelspine Walker and the Stormtrooper, which will both be available in plastic. The Stormtrooper Commander and the Noctiban Infantry will both be in Warlord resin, and the Panzer IV Walker will be a combination plastic and resin kit. Now, going back to that image that we found, let's look at the units from left to right, what each nation is represented as. Starting off, we have Japan with the Ghost Attack Squad. In first edition, these units were able to phase through walls and solid objects and act like they weren't there. We haven't seen any rules or mention of them. However, I suspect that this is actually going to be the first kit that's released for Japan. Next up, we have the Soviet bloc, and I believe that this is supposed to be the Siberian Terrors. On the surface, this might look like a strange choice for a first release for the Soviets. Many people probably would think that the Bears would be a better choice. However, I actually thought about this a little, and I think I might know why they chose to go this route. Much like the Firefly Infantry, the Siberian Terrors are actually a bit easier to use than something that's bulky and slow like the Bears, and I think it'll also lend itself to a completely unique playstyle compared to the other units on this list. Next up, we have the Stormtrooper and the Fireflies, which are the first 2 units that are available for individual order from Warlord. Now, I'm sure somebody's going to point out that the Noctalban are available from Warlord as well in the Axis Army bundle, but you'll notice that they're actually not available for individual order. They're only available in the bundle, much like the Tesla Stuart. And because these are not available for individual order outside of that army bundle, you can't really theme an army around them. Lastly, we have the Automated Infantry from the British Commonwealth. In version 1, the Automated Infantry were both loved and hated by fans. Loved for their looks, and absolutely hated for the process of putting them together. These were also a very important unit in the lore for the British Commonwealth, and so it makes absolutely perfect sense for them to be the first unit released. So, what do you think? Will my predictions come true? Will the first unit for each of the new factions coincide with these images, or am I just reaching? Of course, that's a possibility, but at this point, our information is pretty thin on the ground, and so I'd love to know what you think. As always, I'll be keeping an eye out for any future news that come out regarding Konflikt 47, and if I get anything particularly juicy, I'll try to bring it to people's attention. Really looking forward to the game, and hope you are too. In the meantime, stay weird out there. Hey folks, Dex here. Little addition at the end of the video because as I was getting ready to upload this, it turned out that Warlord Games had in fact released a new article. Lo and behold, that article was about the British Commonwealth and it heavily featured the Automated Infantry, which kind of to me indicates that that probably will be the initial release for that faction. Obviously, we will need to wait and see for the other 2 factions, but I suspect that given the other three have all panned out to be correct, I suspect that this will actually be the case, and we will be looking forward to the Ghost Attack Squad and the Siberian Terrors. So, only time will tell, but for now it looks like that will in fact be the case. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll keep an eye on the news.